put my nails into her mouth. And Kat came to this conclusion. She told me afterwards it is absolutely never, ever okay for a guy, no matter what the situation, to put his nails, toenails, fingernails, or any other body part into her mouth. PG. Anyway, so Kat says to me this. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to build a healthy marriage. A right and a wrong way to build a healthy marriage. And she said to me that my idea of simple, quick, self-centered fun, that's apparently not the right way to build a marriage. Apparently, if you want to build a good marriage, the way to do it is like this. According to Kat, you need to spend time with one another, you need to communicate with one another, and you need to invest in each other's interests and hobbies. So it's just a quick little survey. If you think Kat is right, if you think the best way to develop a marriage is to communicate, invest in each other's hobbies, and spend time together, just raise your hand. Alright, you may be less than 18 years old, but about a third of you, you're ready to get married. You've got it sussed out. The rest of you, you're idiots and don't get boyfriends or girlfriends. It's just stuff. Alrighty, let's bring it back in. Here's the deal, right? Just as we need to invest in our marital relationships, or our friendships probably is more the point for you guys, we also need to invest in our relationship with God. You see, when you invest in your marriage, this is what happens as a husband. I invest time in my wife, I end up with a happy wife. If we're blessed, one day we end up with a happy family. And then one day, as it gets a little bit longer, I've had a happy life, just with more abundance and more joy together if I invest in my marriage. Not a perfect life. Nothing goes perfectly, but I end up with a happier life if I choose to invest in my marriage. And it's the same with God. If you choose to invest in your relationship with God, then you end up with not a perfect life. Nothing goes perfectly, unfortunately. But if you invest in your relationship with God, you end up having a more enjoyable and a more abundant life. And yet so often we do what I did the other day. God says to us, hey, I want to hang out with you. And we're like, actually, I want to have a little conversation on the side right now, God. Or, actually, I want to watch the cricket. So here it is, God. Here are my nails. You sit in that corner. I'm watching the cricket without you, God. And that's the way so often we respond to God. It seems easier and it pleases our desires more instantly often to do things without God. So we're looking at John chapter 10, verse 10 specifically. My wonderful year 7s are just trying to get this round ahead at the moment. John chapter 10, verse 10. And this is what the message says. It says, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. That's just one little verse out of the verses that Brandon and Haya read for us. And before I unpack that verse, I'm going to tell you what happens in the previous chapter, chapter 9. So you ready for it? This is what the Bible says in chapter 9. This is the Nick Harris paraphrase version. One day, you're following the story, one day Jesus is walking down the street and he comes across a man, and this man has been blind from the day he was born. And so Jesus, seeing this guy that's blind since he's been born, says to him, right, I can heal you. And so he heals the man, and all of a sudden the man's got his eyesight fully restored, and Jesus says this, I want you to go and live life. Now this guy's been blind for his entire life, so he leaves and he's like, man, I can see. I used to be blind, but I can see. He's like, check it out, I got eyes, that is green, that is blue, that is purple, that is awesome. And people are like, what the heck is going on here? I mean, that guy, I saw him sitting down the road. I saw him walk into the wall the other day. What the heck is up with that guy? He can't have his sight back. And so they did what they thought was the only logical thing. They said, hey, you need to come with us because we need to get answers. And so they grabbed the man and they took him along to see the Pharisees. Everyone say the Pharisees. Pharisees. Oh, I like that. The young guys are good. They're like Pharisees. Okay, cool. So he took him to see the Pharisees. Now the Pharisees, for those of you who don't know, they're the Jewish leaders at the time. And they like to make sure that everyone is keeping things according to the law, in particular the Mosaic law. Give me 10 seconds to drink. That's a long time. So they like to make sure, I can't count. They like to make sure that everyone is keeping according to the law. And so they see this guy, and they're like, well, the very first thing we need to do is figure out if he really was the blind man, or if he's not just some imposter who looks like the blind man. So they start having this debate, and people are talking to each other, and they're like, I know that guy. I've spoken to him before. It's the same guy. And other people are like, Yeah, I recognize him. I think he was a blind man. And then eventually, the parents come along and they're like, that's our son! That's our son! He can see. That is totally awesome. So the parents are like, all right, settle down, people. We got it. He was blind. He can see now. They're like, oh, next important thing. When did you get your eyesight back? When did you get your eyesight back? They found out it was a day beforehand. And they're like, oh, hang on a second. That was a Sabbath day. That was a holy day. And you're not supposed to do work on a holy day. And if this man, who's this man Jesus? If this man Jesus gave you sight on the holy day, then he cannot be from God because he's broken God's law, because he has done work, healing his work on the holy day. He's given you sight on a day where you're not supposed to work. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, man, I think they missed the point. Isn't the point that he was blind and now he can see? And they're like, no, the point is he got healed on the Sabbath, the holy day. And that's so messed up. And this is what I love. The blind man turns around and he's like, do you know what? I don't care what day it was. I was blind, now I can see. And I'm going to find this Jesus guy. I'm going to ask him if he's God. And if he is, I'm going to follow him because I was blind and now I can see. And this just really annoys the Pharisees. So they throw him out to the street and they chase him down the street and he bumps into Jesus and he says, hey, are you God? And Jesus says, yes, I am. And the Pharisees are like, this is totally not cool. And that brings us up to the point which Haya and Brandon read to us, the verses there. And I don't know how you guys found it listening to them. If you're anything like me, in listening to some of the Bible stories, like, there goes Jesus again. He's talking about sheep, talking about farm animals. I mean, it's no wonder that, like, you're in Sunday school, right? And it's like, oh, I love Sunday school. I get to color in sheep and play with farm animals. And I get to look at, like, these pictures of Mary, and she's pregnant, she's on a donkey, and that's so cool. And the boys are like, I got to color in David and Goliath, or Samson with his really long hair. And we have fun with all these stories because it's cute and cuddly. But that's not what Jesus was saying. He's talking about animals, and he's using images, two key images that everyone in his audience would have understood. And so let me just quickly unpack these things. So the very first image that Jesus used was that of a sheep and a sheep pen. Say that, a sheep and a sheep pen. I think there's only one person listening to me. The first image he uses is that of a sheep and a sheep pen. Try that louder. Alright, I got like 60 people listening to me. I can handle that one. Okay. So this is how it works. Jesus says the sheep, everyone in his audience understood, the sheep represent wealth. The sheep to his audience represent wealth. And a sheep pen represents your home or your heart. And so in the story that they read out before us, what Jesus was doing was he's attacking the religious leaders and saying what the religious leaders want to do is they want to get into the sheep pen to take away what you have. And they're only doing this because they want to gain and grow their own power structures and their own personal wealth. And get this, when you're at home, right, you're perfectly relaxed. You can do what you like. You can put, I guess, nails in your wife's mouth if you want. You're relaxed. But if you're a religious leader and you can control someone when they're at home, then you control how they live entirely. And so Jesus is saying that this is what these religious leaders are after. They want your money. They want your wealth. They want your loyalty. They want your behavior. They want to control you in every aspect of life. And then Jesus gives us the second image. Firstly, he compares us to sheep. So all of you are sheep. And then he says, and I am the shepherd. He says, you are sheep and I am the shepherd. And so Jesus says, I am not like the other leaders. I have not come to lead you astray. In fact, I've come to look after you. And I can do this because I am God's son. He's given me authority to do this. But not just because I'm God's son. He doesn't just stop there. He says, because no matter what's happening, I'm going to look after you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to lay my life down if that's what I need to. I care about your interests, what you like and what you don't like. And as the story goes on, he lived that life for us. So John 10:10, back to the verse, he says this. The thief